What if your best friend of 20 years suddenly confessed that she was a professional assassin? Not a secret agent, not a spy, a killer. A woman who had spent almost 3 decades traveling across the world, taking contracts, and eliminating people for money. Now imagine discovering this on the same night your husband is found dead, your marriage is exposed as a lie, and a criminal organization decides that you might know the location of £24 million. Suddenly, your quiet life disappears, and the only person who can save you is the best friend who lied to you for more than 20 years. This is the story of Ride or Die, a fast-moving action comedy about friendship, betrayal, assassins, organized crime, and 2 women who discover that the person they thought they knew best may be hiding the most dangerous secrets. But the biggest mystery is not simply who Judith really is. The real question is, what has Debbie been hiding? The movie opens in the Austrian Alps. Everything looks peaceful. Snow covers the mountains, tourists are skiing, music is playing, and wealthy guests are enjoying a luxurious party. But high above them, someone is watching. A woman calmly sets up a sniper rifle. Her target is a dangerous criminal named Oleg. The woman is Judith Burton. But in the world of professional assassins, she is known by another name, Whiptail. Judith's handler, Sam, is watching from a distance. His instructions are simple. Judith is supposed to take the shot. Quietly. From far away. No witnesses. No unnecessary complications. But Judith has never been interested in doing things the easy way. She looks through her scope. Then she notices Oleg partying with several women, and instead of pulling the trigger, Judith walks directly into the party. A few seconds later, Oleg is dead. Judith has stabbed him. The guests begin screaming. Security starts chasing her, and Judith runs through the resort as if this is just another normal day at work. She fights, she escapes, and somehow she disappears into the chaos. Later that night, Judith is sitting at a bar. She drinks, flirts with the bartender, and when someone asks what she does for a living, she gives a completely different answer. She says she is a forensic accountant. And just like that, the movie introduces us to Judith's greatest talent. She can become anyone. A professional, a lover, a friend, or a killer. Thousands of miles away, Judith's best friend Debbie Claiborne is living a completely different life. Debbie has known Judith for more than 20 years. The 2 women have shared holidays, book clubs, antique shopping, private jokes, and countless conversations about everything from relationships to murder mysteries. Debbie is warm, friendly, smart, and constantly helping other people, especially her husband, David. David Claiborne is a British politician. He wants to become the next prime minister. The problem is that David is completely incapable of managing his own life. Debbie writes his speeches, fixes his problems, manages his schedule, and basically keeps his entire political career alive. David may be the public face, but Debbie is the brain behind him, and she has spent years convincing herself that this is the life she wants. She has even given up her own career as a lawyer to support him. But beneath the surface, Debbie's marriage is already falling apart, and David is hiding something much more dangerous than an unhappy marriage. Back in the assassin world, Judith is becoming a problem. She has started ignoring orders. She goes off the books, she leaves witnesses behind, and she has become increasingly reckless. The agency believes she is too old to continue. Some of them think she is simply going through a midlife crisis. Her handler, Sam, is given a job. Convince Judith to retire. But Judith refuses. So the agency gives her one final chance. Her target is Billy Donovan. Billy is a major figure connected to organized crime. He is also involved in a charity event. But the charity is actually being used as a front for money laundering. Judith is ordered to poison him at the event. The mission is supposed to be simple. Go in, kill Billy, leave. But Judith's life is about to collide with Debbie's, and once that happens, nothing will ever be simple again. Debbie attends the political gala with David. She believes she is helping him. David, however, is clearly uncomfortable. He has been receiving calls from lawyers. He is hiding something. And when Debbie confronts him, he finally reveals the truth. He wants a divorce. But not immediately. David wants to become prime minister first. Then he plans to leave her. Debbie is devastated. She has spent years building his life. She gave up her own career. She supported his ambitions. And now he tells her that they are simply going in different directions. Debbie is heartbroken. But she still does not know the worst part. While she is dealing with the collapse of her marriage, Judith is hunting Billy. Judith tries to poison Billy's drink. But before she can complete the mission, someone knocks the drink over. The plan is ruined. Judith has to improvise, exactly what she was ordered not to do. Then she sneaks into Billy's hotel room, and what she finds there changes the entire story. Several men are dead, and one of the bodies appears to be David, Debbie's husband. Beside the bodies is a postcard showing a cemetery. The message says, "Miss me, DC XX." Judith realizes that this is a message meant specifically for her. But before she can escape, she hears armed men searching for Debbie. Judith suddenly faces a choice. She can finish her assignment, or she can save her best friend. Judith chooses Debbie. She finds Debbie drunk, angry, and completely unaware of what is happening. Then the attackers arrive. Judith fights them. Debbie watches in horror as her supposedly ordinary best friend takes down armed men with terrifying efficiency. The two women escape in a stolen vehicle. A high-speed chase begins. Bullets hit the car. Debbie finally realizes that this is not a bad dream. Her husband may be dead, her best friend is an assassin, and armed criminals are trying to kill them. The chase ends at a cemetery, and there Judith discovers something impossible: a grave. The name on it is Judith Burton. Inside the grave is a black mark, a symbol used by the agency. It means someone wants Judith dead. Debbie looks at her best friend, and finally asks the question that has been waiting to be answered. "Who are you?" Judith tells her the truth. She has been an assassin for 29 years, and Debbie realizes that the woman she trusted most has been living an entirely different life. But what neither of them knows is that someone has been watching them from the shadows, a woman named Anna. And Anna is not finished with Judith, not even close. Debbie has just discovered the truth. Her best friend Judith is not a forensic accountant. She is a professional assassin. And before Debbie can even process that shocking revelation, another problem appears. David's body is missing. The hotel claims there was never a crime scene. The authorities have no answers, and Judith's own organization is hiding information from her. But Judith is not about to sit back and wait. She storms into the agency headquarters and confronts the director himself. She wants answers about the mysterious black mark, the message that appeared at her grave and turned her entire mission into a trap. The director gives her a brutal choice: finish the job and kill Billy Donovan, or lose everything. Meanwhile, Debbie begins investigating on her own. Using clues from David's study, she discovers a secret phone and a message connected to Billy. But before she can get answers, armed men arrive. Debbie calls the police. Unfortunately, explaining that her best friend is an assassin, her husband is missing, and criminals are trying to kill her does not go as smoothly as expected. So Debbie does the only thing she can think of. She escapes through a window. And somehow, the woman who has never been in a gunfight suddenly finds herself running from armed criminals. But then Judith arrives, and the two women are thrown into a brutal car chase. Bullets fly, cars crash, and Debbie quickly realizes that her old life is officially over. But the biggest shock is still waiting for them. They discover that David was involved with the Albanian mob. He stole millions of pounds, and now everyone believes Debbie knows where the money is hidden. The Albanians kidnap her, but they make one mistake. They underestimate Judith. Judith launches a furious rescue, turning the entire chase into chaos. Debbie may not be trained, but she is clever, unpredictable, and desperate. Together, they survive. And for the first time, Debbie realizes something terrifying. The only reason she is still alive is because Judith is willing to destroy anyone who comes after her. Judith wants to send Debbie to a safe house, but Debbie refuses. She wants answers, and she wants the truth. So the two best friends go on the run together. They visit Judith's mysterious supply agent, change their identities, create fake passports, and prepare to disappear. But Debbie makes one thing clear: no more lies, no more killing. Judith gives her a doubtful answer, and that should already tell us everything. Because Judith may want to protect Debbie, but she is still an assassin. Meanwhile, Sam, Judith's agent handler, is beginning to suspect that someone else is manipulating the entire situation. And then Anna appears. She seems charming, calm, almost harmless, but there is something deeply wrong about her. She is watching Sam. She is watching Judith. And she knows far more than she should. Then, just as Judith and Debbie think they are finally escaping, they board a train to Spain. And this is where their friendship faces its biggest test yet. Because sometimes the most dangerous enemy is not the person holding a gun. It is the person hiding the truth. And on this train, Judith and Debbie are about to discover that someone has already followed them. But what happens next changes everything. While Judith and Debbie are trying to survive, Sam and Queenie investigate David's missing body. They discover blood outside Billy's hotel room. The evidence leads them to a laundry area. Queenie hacks into security footage. And finally, they see the person who took David. It is Anna. Anna is connected to Judith's past. She was once part of the agency, and she was believed to be dead. 5 years earlier, Anna supposedly died during a mission involving Judith, but she survived. And now she has returned. She has been manipulating the entire situation. She disrupted Judith's mission, she took David's body, she sent information to the Albanian mob, and she has been watching Judith's movements from the shadows. But Anna's obsession is not really with David. She wants answers about Debbie. Anna believes Debbie must be someone important, someone powerful, someone connected to Judith's hidden past. But when Anna discovers that Debbie is simply Judith's best friend, she is confused. Why would Judith risk everything for an ordinary civilian? And that question becomes one of the central mysteries of the story. Debbie begins investigating the black mark. She discovers that the symbol is connected to Judith's past. The image associated with it depicts Judith herself. Judith was once one of the agency's most famous assassins, a legend, a woman who seduced a powerful general and killed him. Debbie begins to wonder if Judith's enemy is a former lover, someone who believed Judith betrayed them. Judith insists she has never allowed herself to truly love anyone, but Debbie disagrees. She tells Judith that she loved her, and Judith broke her heart by hiding the truth. This moment reveals something important. Judith may be able to kill almost anyone, but she has never learned how to be emotionally honest. Debbie, meanwhile, has spent her entire life doing the opposite. She gives everything to other people. Her husband, her children, her friends, her career, and now she's finally forced to ask, what does she want for herself? Sam and Queenie continue investigating the agency. Queenie has always suspected that her identity is not what she was told. Her birth certificate is fake, so she sneaks into the director's office with Sam. They break into a safe. Inside are records about the agency's agents, and Queenie finds something shocking. Her mother was an assassin. The woman she believed was simply part of her past was connected to the same organization that created Judith. Then Queenie finds a file on Anna. The record says Anna died 5 years earlier, but Anna is clearly alive. This means someone inside the agency has been lying, and if they lied about Anna, what else have they been hiding? Then the biggest shock arrives. Debbie's children call. They reveal that David is alive. The man Debbie believed was dead has been kidnapped. Anna is holding him. She has him chained to a bed. And when Debbie tries to contact David, Anna answers by pretending to be him. The truth about David is even worse than Debbie imagined. He was not simply a politician caught in a criminal scheme. He was actively involved. He used Debbie's political influence. He manipulated her into supporting policies that would benefit the Albanian mob. He stole money. And when everything began collapsing, he left Debbie to face the consequences. The woman who spent years protecting David finally realized that David never protected her. He used her, and the marriage she sacrificed her career for was built on manipulation. But even now, Debbie's story is not finished, because the final twist is still waiting. Throughout the season, it appears that Judith is the center of the conspiracy. She is the assassin. She is the one with enemies. She is the one being hunted. But the truth is far more complicated. The entire chain of events may have been designed to expose Debbie. Judith's failed mission, David's disappearance, the missing money, the Albanian mob, the black mark, Anna's return. All of it pushes Debbie closer to the truth about her own past. The woman who appeared to be an innocent civilian may have been connected to something much bigger. And that is what makes the finale so important. Because Debbie is not simply the woman Judith is trying to protect. She may be the reason the entire conspiracy began. By the final episodes, the entire world around Judith and Debbie is collapsing. The agency is turning against Judith. The Albanian mob wants its money. The police are searching for Debbie. Anna is manipulating everyone. David's secrets have been exposed, and the director is still pulling the strings. Judith now faces one final choice: return to the life she has known for almost 30 years, or walk away from everything. The director represents everything Judith has been trapped inside. He recruited her when she was only 15. She was intelligent, troubled, a teenager who had already been rejected by the world. The director promised her something simple. He promised that he would not abandon her, and Judith believed him. The agency became her family, her purpose, her identity. For decades, she believed that being an assassin was all she could ever be. But now she finally understands the truth. The agency did not save her. It used her, and it taught her that love was a weakness. But Debbie proves that idea wrong. Debbie is the reason Judith begins questioning everything. Debbie is not her weakness. She is the first person who makes Judith want a life outside the agency. Judith and Debbie finally confront the forces responsible for the chaos. But this time, Debbie is not simply hiding behind Judith. She is making decisions. She is taking risks. She is using her intelligence. Judith has the combat training. Debbie has the ability to read people. Judith can fight her way through a room. Debbie can manipulate the room before the fight even begins. Together, they become a perfect team. Not because they are alike, but because they are completely different. The final confrontation is filled with action, gunfire, fights, chases, and the kind of chaos Judith has spent her entire life creating. But this time, she is fighting for something different. Not money, not an assignment, not the agency. She is fighting for a future. Judith eventually has the opportunity to kill the person responsible for much of the suffering, but she stops. For most of her life, her answer to every problem has been violence. Someone betrays her? Kill them. Someone threatens her? Kill them. Someone gets in her way? Kill them. But if Judith kills again, the cycle continues. So instead, she chooses a different kind of victory. The director's power is destroyed. His money is taken. His criminal network collapses. His influence disappears. Judith finally understands that destroying a system can be more powerful than killing one person. And that choice marks the end of her life as an assassin. Debbie's transformation is just as important. For years, she lived as David's wife. She supported his ambitions. She gave up her career. She managed his life. And she convinced herself that his success was also her success. But after discovering the truth, she finally walks away. Her marriage is over. Her political life is gone. The future she imagined has disappeared. But for the first time, Debbie is free. She can decide who she wants to be. Not David's wife, not Judith's civilian friend, not the woman who always sacrifices herself for everyone else. Just Debbie. And that is one of the movie's most important messages. Sometimes the life you think you are losing is actually the life that was holding you back. The title becomes clear by the end. A ride-or-die friend is not someone who never lies to you. Judith lied. A lot. A ride-or-die friend is not someone who is perfect. Debbie is not perfect either. Both women make mistakes. Both women hurt each other. Both women hide the truth. But when everything falls apart, they keep coming back to each other. Judith saves Debbie's life. Debbie saves Judith's humanity. And that is why their friendship survives. Not because there were no secrets, but because eventually they choose the truth over the lies. The ending also leaves one major question unanswered. What exactly is Debbie's connection to the larger conspiracy? The story strongly suggests that her past may be more complicated than she admits. Perhaps she did not simply walk away from danger. Perhaps she escaped it. Perhaps someone helped her disappear. Or perhaps Debbie has spent years suppressing memories connected to the same world Judith has been living in. The finale does not give every answer. And that appears to be intentional, because Judith has finally escaped her past. But Debbie may only just be beginning to confront hers. The final message is clear. You can change your name. You can change your career. You can build a new life. But you cannot erase the past forever. Eventually, it finds you. At first glance, Ride or Die looks like a story about an assassin protecting her best friend. But underneath the gunfights, car chases, explosions, and criminal conspiracies, it is really a story about identity. Judith believes she is a killer. Debbie believes she is a wife. Both women are wrong. Judith is more than the things she has done. And Debbie is more than the life she sacrificed herself to maintain. Their friendship forces them to confront the truth. And in the end, that may be the most dangerous mission of all. Because fighting enemies is easy for Judith. The difficult part is fighting the person she has always believed herself to be. And for Debbie, the hardest fight is finally asking, who am I when I am no longer living for someone else? That is what makes Ride or Die more than just another action comedy. It is a story about two women who lose everything they thought they were, and finally discover who they might become. But one question still remains. If Judith has left the assassin world behind, and Debbie's past is still hiding secrets, can these two best friends truly escape? Or is their most dangerous mission still waiting for them? Only time will tell.